Okay. Are you ready?
Yeah.
All right. So, Mr. Swanson, you have properly submitted in City of Rome versus Maxwell Swanson in case number 153-02195 a request for electronic and photographic media access to court proceedings, which I've signed and allowed you to film in here. We don't have a problem doing that. So today is arraignment day in the court. This is your time to come before the court and enter your initial plea. You can enter a plea of not guilty or guilty. That's up to you. Kind of tell you what you got going on. When you walk into court, you have certain constitutional rights that are available to you. You have the right to a trial. You have the right to testify and offer evidence. You have the right to be presumed innocent. You have the right to confront and cross-examine witnesses. You have the right to subpoena witnesses. You have the right to assistance of counsel during trial. You have the right not to incriminate yourself. You have the right to be represented by a private attorney or a public defender if you're eligible. And one thing that you need to understand is if you're going to enter a plea of guilty or nolo today, that can affect your immigration status if you're not a citizen of the United States. Okay? So do you understand all those rights?
Yes.
Do you have any questions about them?
I have a question about the claim, basically.
Okay, well, we're not here to litigate the claim today. We're just here for arraignment purposes.
So if it wasn't a valid claim...
Well, hang on. Let me get through what I'm saying, and then I think you'll understand where we're going, and you'll be able to tell me what you need to tell me, okay? So arraignment is like a fancy word. It just means that you got to tell the court what you want to do with your case. Like I said, your options today, you can enter a plea, which would be guilty or nolo if you wanted to go ahead and do that today. If you dispute the validity of the claim or you don't think that the city is going to be able to prove you guilty beyond a reasonable doubt, you're allowed to enter a plea of not guilty and ask for a bench trial. In that case, we would give you a court date, which would be approximately 28 to 45 days from now. The city solicitor would be here to represent the city. And then you would absolutely have your right to a trial and everything that goes along with that. So today's your day to kind of enter a plea. It is a maximum penalty in the state of Georgia you're charged with. Just to give you some background and refresh your memory. This was a citation that was issued on January 10th, 2019 at 8:45 a.m. By Officer Brown of the Rome Police Department at Shorter Avenue at Sheridan Drive inside the city of Rome, and he charged you with not wearing your seatbelt as required by Georgia law.
Okay. Well,
so the maximum penalty for that is a $15 fine, and I just need to get you to either plead guilty or not guilty today.
Well, so the thing about that is that in Georgia law, it actually says that you can have a doctor's note exemption.
Okay, and that would be something that you would need to present at trial. And the Georgia law also says that there is a limit to ex parte communication. That means that,
what does that mean?
Okay, ex parte communication means that, I guess in the simplest way to put it is I'm not allowed to talk to one side without the other side being here. So what that means is...
Okay, because I talked to the solicitor and he told me to talk to you. Because, you know, I feel personally that wearing a seatbelt harms me. Like,
okay,
I have trouble breathing,
listen,
you know?
hang on a second, time out. Okay, so here's the thing is, that's evidence that you would need to put forward on trial day. So today, all we need to know is, do we give you a date to come back for trial because you want to enter a plea of guilty, or do you want to, or excuse me, not guilty, or do you want to enter a plea of guilty today? That's all we're here to do today at arraignment.
So you can't, like, stop something that might not even should go to court before?
Well, I need to get you to a trial day where the city is represented by their solicitor in the proceeding. See, if you want to make a motion to dismiss or any other motion, which you can do, you're allowed to do that under Georgia law.
Okay.
They have to have notice of that motion and have an opportunity to respond before I rule.
Oh, you mean the
city solicitor? Yeah, the city through its solicitor.
Okay, so would that be something? Because I mean, apparently, what kind of risks are associated with, like, for instance, you know, it takes courage to kind of stand up for what you think is right. Right? It's easier to just pay. I mean,
sure. Well, let me tell you this, Mr. Swanson, that the maximum penalty for this charge under Georgia law is a $15 fine.
Oh, okay. so the original one says.
No matter what you do, no matter what motion you file, no matter what we do in here, at the end of the day, the maximum penalty you're ever going to have is a $15 fine.
Okay.
Okay?
Okay.
So
if it's worth me not feeling like I have to be, like, scared looking behind my shoulder.
Yeah, I don't know why you would feel scared looking behind your shoulder. If you do, I apologize. We try not to make people feel uncomfortable.
But see, that's what I realized. I'm like, it's not the intention of this stuff, you know? And it's like weird, because like the same day that I got pulled over for not wearing a seatbelt, I met this lady that I was filling propane tank. She was old, sitting in her car, and I put it back in her car, and she had her seatbelt laying on the ground outside. I said, "Oh, ma'am, your seatbelt's hanging out of your car." And she said, "Oh, thank you, but don't tell anybody because I don't wear my seatbelt because ever since my triple bypass surgery, it hurts."
Right.
And then so I looked online and I was like, "Oh, well, they say you can have a doctor's note."
And if you come back at trial and you have a doctor's note, you can talk to the solicitor and he may dismiss the charge at that point. I may look at it at trial and decide it needs to be dismissed or you need to be acquitted at that point. But today...
Well, I understand that completely now, but the thing is that like, I'm a licensed massage therapist. so like the doctor's thing, you know, I sort of feel like I understand a body of knowledge that the doctors might not, to be able to evaluate like how that would be.
Well, the good news is today all we need to know is, do you want me to give you a chance to present all of these motions and arguments you have with the solicitor? I just have to give you a court date to do that. You would need to enter a plea of not guilty, and then we'll give you a court date where you can come back and do that.
Okay, and you said there's no caveats. $15 the worst that can happen.
That's it.
Okay.
Yeah, it's
we're
not
just
going to get worse than that.
We're just here for the truth and helping people, right?
That's exactly right.
Okay. Heck yeah. Awesome. Not guilty.
So we'll enter a plea of not guilty, and we're going to give you a court date.
Yeah, I printed off an article. Science finally proves meridians exist. And like the whole idea, like I've got some lady I deliver hay to. She swears by acupuncture. You know, she says it's the best thing ever. And the idea is, if you know, you can like heal the body by releasing tension in these meridians, then can you actually harm the body by suppressing it? And that's yeah, that's why, you know, I mean, like, my body is telling me to not wear a seatbelt, you know, and not only that, but I actually rolled my car twice.
You probably need to save this for trial because we're getting into that area where, because here's the way to think about the ex parte communication. You probably wouldn't want me to go talk to the police about what you did without you being here to see it, right?
Potentially,
yeah. Right. So so I can't talk to you without.
It's a conflict of interest.
Exactly.
Okay, I understand.
Okay. I need your name here.
Okay.
Your address, city, state, and zip code. And your phone number.
Okay. Now, my mailing address is a little bit different than where I stay.
That's fine. Write your mailing address.
Yeah. Okay. Gotcha.
Do you want a public defender application too? Do you want a lawyer application?
I think I'll be good.
Okay.
Yeah. Appreciate asking. Yeah, that older generation, man, even like war vets and stuff, I'm surprised they say they don't have a good opinion at all. And I'm like, well, how do you know if you don't even try? You know? Yeah. Okay, that's the same as my cell phone number.
All right, get you to write your name and your address.
Okay, I got you.
All right, sir. That's it. Okay.
Awesome.
That's all we have to do
The court
today.
date will be March 20th, 2019, 8:30 a.m.
Okay. Are we going to do it at 8:30 or?
Are you going to want to film?
Yeah, why not? Right?
Okay. Yeah. Then let's call the court beforehand because I may do the same thing and let you come back a little bit later.
Yeah, absolutely. I've got no intention of getting other people's stuff out.
Sure.
You know what I mean?
Yes, sir.
Yeah, absolutely.
Okay.
Awesome.
Well, it's good to see you. Have a good day, and we'll see you back on the 20th.
Yeah.
All right. You want to adjourn? Don't make me do it.
Court adjourned.
All right. Everybody have a good day. We'll see you next week.